Has David Moyes been offered a new 2.5-year deal by West Ham? That's what the rumours are saying. We're going to be talking about how we feel about that. Is it time to get behind Moyes, or are we still hoping for change, especially after that massive 2-0 victory at the Emirates yesterday? We'll be talking about all about that. Oh, I haven't even begun to milk that yet. Don't you worry about that. Obviously, huge January ahead. We'll be talking about all of that stuff. It's the lads. We're here. Last Friday night pint of the year, lads. It's been a crazy 2023 and a big one for West Ham. What are you?
Yeah, I hope everyone had a lovely Christmas, because I had a lovely Christmas. Although I have been ill. I've been really fucking ill, to be honest with you. Yeah, I won't go into it. It's a bit grim, to be honest. But yeah, I had a lovely Christmas, and I hope you all had a lovely Christmas. Hello, Ryan.
Hello, mate. You all right? Yeah,
Just
fucking
time.
rushing about. Yeah, that's what Christmas is about, isn't it? Like, I don't even know what the day of the week it is. Like, it's just that one
fold
week.
your dinner up like a Scooby stack.
No, it's fucking. I just left straight away, mate. Like, but the thing is, like, it's just that week during Christmas where you don't know what's going on. You know, you're just all over the place. You're getting, got to go there. But yeah, I'm good to be home, sitting in this seat, doing Friday night pint.
Yeah, you forget what days of the week it is. Honestly, you really do. But yesterday was, it was a glorious day for me. I know we've got a big story. We usually get that for. Oh my god, I have to. I'm still over the moon. And a lot of people, I want to play. A lot of people was asking me what I was on about this Ross Kemp reference in my post-match reaction. Let me just play this. This is where it came from. This is me. This is me to this moment.
You will never know what that means to me. That is everything. Everything. We love you, boys. We love you.
That was me yesterday.
Why does Grant Mitchell sound funny? He sounded really weird then. But yeah, that was after the World Cup. That was England, wasn't it? I remember that video.
Yeah, that was England. But honestly, after that was mate, me, you, and Scott Ryan. We was in the group chat before the game. We see the lineup, and we were all like, "Fuck, this is gonna be a smash in there." And oh my god,
yeah,
unbelievable.
The mad thing is, and I think there's a lot of West Ham fans out there that when they see that starting lineup, see that back four, and was worried because Mavropanos and Ogbonna playing together. You know, I haven't been that convinced with Mavropanos yet. Ogbonna, we know he was a great defender for us, but his legs are going. But them two yesterday just proved so many people wrong, and I just loved it. And the whole back four, Soufal was brilliant. Emerson, once again, brilliant. Alvarez kept dropping in to help out Ogbonna and Mavropanos. I don't know if you noticed that, but he kept dropping in to make that back three. And it just worked so perfectly. And yeah, no, look, I've got to hold my hands up. I was one that doubted Mavropanos and Ogbonna before the game. But yeah, that was a huge performance especially from them two at the back.
I'll be honest, I was there. Do you know what? It was a cut. We went there 8 years ago, I think it was now. It must have been 8 years ago when we first started this channel, when we beat them 2-0 and Czech scored a set piece. And who else scored? Zarate, didn't he? Done check with the eyes. And that was like a carbon copy. It was like a carbon copy of that. But the difference between sort of this West Ham and that West Ham and this Arsenal is that we're both a lot further forward in terms of where we are squad wise. I think that was the day I believe Reece Oxford played in midfield and pocketed Ozil. Yeah, but it was a carbon copy of that game, and it brought a few memories flooding back, because when I went outside, it was mental. It was absolutely mental, and it was good. It was good, and I'm starting to feel like the good times are coming back, because I thought every man yesterday, and I'll single some out because I think there was some. I thought there was some really, really good performances. But I thought every man done his job. David Moyes done his job. The substitutions were on point. The starting lineup. Listen, it's not going to be the obviously Aguerd and Zuma play instead of them, but it was the best he could do. And I was the same as you. And, I saw Ogbonna at Liverpool and I really see him struggling. I hate to see players like that struggling. I was the same with Nolan. And, I hate to see players that have outstayed their welcome at the club and they stay so long that they turn from hero to villain. But he rolled back the years yesterday. That was a vintage Ogbonna performance. And Mavropanos stood up. Alvarez was everywhere.
Oh, mate.
Yeah, the thing is, mate, Alvarez was brilliant yesterday. And as I said, he done so well dropping into that back three to help out Ogbonna and Mavropanos when they needed it. But he also done well breaking up the play and putting off Declan Rice. If you watched him yesterday, he was on him all the time. He was shadowing him. And then you had Bowen and Ward-Prowse as well that was working back just to break up that Arsenal midfield. And we did. Look, I know the stats say they had 30 shots and all that, but what real clear-cut chances did they have? They probably had about 2 or 3. I remember Jesus' header, Saka at the post. All the rest of them, we just made them shoot from outside the box and never really troubled. Yeah. Areola pulled off a great save. He was brilliant last night, Areola. But Kudus as well, the way he holds up the ball. Do you know what? I'd like to go back and look at all his appearances so far and just show me how many times he actually gets knocked off the ball and on the floor. His strength. He's so good at that. And it's unfortunate that we're going to lose him now. I know that there's talks tonight that he might actually feature in the Brighton game. I don't know how true that is, but we're going to miss him for a month. And it's a shame because Paquetá obviously picked up that calf injury yesterday, which is better than what we thought it was going to be. But yeah, I just think the whole team worked so hard last night, and it weren't down to Arsenal being that poor. I just think we made them that poor, and I think there's a lot of pundits out there that were concentrating more on Arsenal being poor than us being that good.
Yeah, and I think they you mentioned some of them shots from outside the box. They did have some good shots, but I think Areola's performance as well has gone under the radar because that's 2 clean sheets now in a row since he came back from injury. And a lot of fans, when he came back in against Man United, there were a lot of big accounts, West Ham Central, Nicky's mate being one of them, doing their nut because Areola was back and, it's the end of the world. And now he's gone on and 2 clean sheets against Man United and Arsenal. I'm telling you, and we have, it might have been last Friday night or somewhere, it might have been you, Nicky, or Ryan, one that was talking to was saying how lucky we are to have 2, good keepers. Because, I still think I've always said Fabianski's got something to offer as a number 2 now. But yeah, Areola, he's gone under the radar a little bit. I thought he was
that's what I said last week, didn't I? That we're blessed to have 2 good goalkeepers at the club. We've gone so many years where we've had 1 decent goalkeeper and a half decent backup. But now, if I see the team sheet and Fabianski's in goal or Areola, I'm confident in both of them. And that's good. And I watched a video that they've done before the game yesterday on the build up to it, where Rob Green was training with Fabianski and Areola, and he was talking to him about their relationship. And they both push each other on. They both love working with each other, and it's good. And that goalkeeper union is good at the football club, and it's brilliant to see. And as I said, Areola, mate, was some of them saves he pulled off last night, especially in the rain as well, skidding along the floor. They're difficult, and he held on to the ball last night, but I thought he hasn't been mentioned a lot, but I thought Soufal had a brilliant game yesterday. Yeah. Some of his headers as well, off the line, he's clearing them out of the box. I just think everything clicked last night. And the last 3 games, Wolves, Man United, and now Arsenal, we haven't conceded a goal. And that's 3 big wins. And you look at the beginning of December where we beat Tottenham away as well. It's been a good month. It's been a good year for West Ham. When you look at the stats from 2023, it's been, in my time supporting West Ham, one of the best years, stat-wise, supporting this club.
100%. And that's the sweetest way we could have ended the year, because they've been insufferable, absolutely insufferable. Obviously, Nicky and I, a lot of people still reference it, done a video on AFTV in the summer with Robbie and James and Gooner Lee, the now infamous Gooner Lee, where he was, West Ham are a shit club, blah, blah, blah. And now just having this, Gooner Lee left at 68th minute. He left at the 68th minute after seeing his super signing Declan Rice put in a absolute shit show of a performance. And listen, whatever. No disrespect. Rice he knows what side he's bread's buttered. He's still a West Ham boy.
I've got to say that I've obviously we've watched a lot of Declan Rice for West Ham, England, and Arsenal, and I think that was one of his worst ever performances I've ever seen Declan Rice play for West Ham or England. I just couldn't. He just didn't look the same last night. I don't know whether the occasion got to. I don't know what it was, but he was under hitting balls. Look, I'm glad he did because we know what Declan Rice can do, but. Everything, even giving away the penalty at the end, it was just like he got up and he sort of smirking to himself, and it was like he was just thinking this day can't get any worse.
I think it was one of them occasions. Look, we know Declan really well, and we know he don't make many mistakes in games. You know, it was just one of them games for him where I think he was so determined to do well. You know, and look, I've got to say this as well. I was in the stands. I was quite surprised with the abuse he got, to be honest with you. Look, I understand some of it.
Was it abuse? I want because sometimes I think we use the word abuse.
No, he was getting booed. Is
that
there
abuse,
was a lot of.
Is that abuse?
No, it's
because when we played them at our ground, I thought a lot of it was
if it's not a type of abuse, what is it?
No, but I think, and like when they came to our ground, he was getting booed, you should have signed for a big club, and I think that's all pantomime stuff.
Yeah, it's the same sort of stuff. It's like it's like the pantomime, you know, the booing and all that sort of stuff. Obviously, there's
getting a bit of stick.
Yeah, getting a bit of stick. And listen, I'm not going to turn around and say that got to him, but you know, he didn't seem the same. You know, and that's probably the first time, you know, when he came back in the Carabao, he was obviously on the bench at the London Stadium, and you got a lot more fans there, so you probably got a lot more. I wasn't there, so I can't tell you, but you got a lot more split. You know, some people will be welcoming him back, some people will be booing him, whatever. But last night it was pretty concentrated, and it looked like maybe Declan thought, oh, do you know what? I didn't think they'd be like this. You know what I mean? Like he thought that. He'd done a good enough job to think that we would accept that he went to Arsenal. Look, I've got no problem with it. You know, as I said before, I've got no problem with him going to Arsenal. I think he earned the move. But if you've got a problem with it, you know, and you're making yourself vocal, look, I can't be a hypocrite and turn around and say, oh, you know, don't do this and don't do that. You do what you want to do. You paid for your ticket. You know what I mean? Like, if that's how you want to express yourself, that's how you got to express yourself.
Yeah,
but I'll tell you what sort of like vibe I got from it last night. As I said, there was a lot of shouting, 2-0 down, all that sort of stuff, right? So some guys was standing next to me, you know, singing this song. Yeah, he goes to me, Nick, you like Declan Rice, didn't you? I said to him, I'll be honest with you, I love him. He's my favourite ever player that's come through the academy. He goes, so do I. But I'll sing anything to put him off. Right. Maybe that's the mentality. I don't know. Maybe there's some real animosity.
Yeah, of course. You boo, you sing what you want because you want him to be off his game. And because we know Declan Rice on his day, he runs midfield. But yesterday, I just thought the occasion got to him a bit. I think he played the occasion more than the game. I think that Alvarez's hard work was breaking up the play and putting Declan off. Every time Declan got on that ball, he was closed down by one or two of our players straight away, and it was making him think. He didn't have time to think what to do. He was just making underhit passes, overhit passes, and it's good because that's what we want. You can't let someone like Declan Rice have the time in midfield with his qualities. But yesterday just wasn't his usual game, and I'm glad because my feelings on Declan Rice is, look, I loved him at West Ham, but he is a rival now. He's gone to a London club. Well, whoever he's gone to, if he's gone to another Premier League club, he wants to beat us. So now he is, when he plays for England, I'll cheer him, I'll support him. But for what he does for Arsenal, it don't really bother me. Honestly, it doesn't.
That's it. You give opposition players
this as well. You know, Declan is a brilliant player. The two worst games I've ever seen him play have been against us. That fact. Right?
And the long may it continue.
So
and that's what we want to see.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. The team that's going to know how to stop Declan Rice would be us. We had him there for 5 years. You know, we know his game inside out. You know, I know it's developing. Listen, he'll have good games against us in the future. I'm fucking 100% sure of it. You know, he'll be the best player on the pitch in some of the games. But, you know, why he's still got that West Ham mentality, why he's still learning under Arteta, why he's still learning a new part of his game. We've got the best of him twice. So, yeah.
Yeah, look, I'm not doubting that Declan Rice will have his day against West Ham. He'll have good games against us, and you never know, he might score. But as it goes at the moment,
he's not here yet.
No, as it goes, it's 2-0 West Ham.
Yeah, exactly.
I just think last night as well, just before you go in the comments, mate, I just think Bowen's work rate up top on his own, he's getting better and better. You know, whether the ball was in or out, for me, it was in. You know, I know the angle don't show, but when you look at it, the ball was in. Great finish. You got to just play on, and that's what we done. And Souček was there. Great finish from Souček. And then obviously Mavropanos, his header was brilliant, you know, and it sat. Do you know what made it even better was the noise of the crossbar as it hit it. I love that. There's nothing better. It reminded me of, do you remember when Lanzini scored that goal against Palace the other year when it just pings in off the bar? But no, he deserved it. And look, I know he didn't celebrate because he used to play for Arsenal, but he should have. I'd like to have seen him got a little bit more.
It's not like he had this big illustrious career. He was there a couple of years, was injured for a large part of it, and never really.
I think he only played about 8 games or something like that. So
fair enough to him. Look, I would love to know.
He probably looked what the abuse Declan Rice was getting for. I don't want none of that. Fuck that.
Yeah, but I just also, mate, I just got to give a shout out to Emerson again. I'll never get bored bigging this player up. His work rate is just. He's one of the best left backs in the league at the moment on form. Honestly,
you know what?
Somebody
unreal. Said earlier on he's top 3 and he's not 2 or 3 in the league at the minute. Yeah. And when you think, like, look, I know he's getting on a little bit. I think he's 30 now, and I know he's getting on a little bit. And I know we've got him a bit later in his career. And as I said, when he first came in, I didn't take to him straight away. You know what I mean? I thought he was going to be one of these players. I said this a few weeks ago that comes. Sort of starts winding down his career at West Ham, sort of gives himself an easier. Mate, Chelsea sold him. I see the state Chelsea are in. They ain't got a player better than him, and they've spent £1 billion quid.
Yeah, definitely. We've had them right over with that because I think he's brilliant. Some people are calling him in the comments. Some people are saying Emerson Hammer of the Year, and this is going to be the scene. We're going to have so many contenders for Hammer of the Year. It's going to be crazy. But I wanted to just.
I was going to say I want to shout out to Ben Rama as well. I thought he had a good game. I know he got
good game. Yeah, good game.
I think he got a stick off for some fans, but I think it was a hard game for him to come into. And once he got settled in, I thought he done well. His work rate. It's just a shame he missed that penalty. That would have been nice to take last night.
I thought he did better defensively than he did offensively. I thought I'm one of his biggest defenders on this channel, but I thought a lot of his decision making yesterday was iffy. And that passing, but he got stuck in with the tackles yesterday, and I think he helped us defensively.
He worked hard, and he's a confidence player, and you could see it as soon as he come on. A few, especially with Paquetá on, because we know that Paquetá retains the ball so well, and he came on and he gave a few loose passes away, and you can hear the groans and all that, and then we'd already scored by then. And then he just grew into the game. And then, there was one time, man, he spun Declan Rice round in circles. He sent like when he was running through and goal, he sent Declan Rice into the multiverse, mate, because Declan Rice was running the wrong way, didn't know where to go. But
it was just
the penalty was awful, though. I gotta say, like, for his standards, it was so obvious where he was going.
Yeah, I think that was he scored 10 out of 10 previously, so. But just obviously Ward-Prowse as well, and obviously I think that David Moyes gets a lot of credit for last night as well.
Of course, I say
brilliant.
That's it. We're going to go on to, if you want, we'll get some comments, but we're going to talk about David Moyes. But I said that in my review. He's got to get massive credit, especially that getting that something out of that lineup, and then Paqueta going off injured early on into the game.
But this, we're going to talk. Let's take the comments first, and then we'll talk about David Moyes.
Does Gunnar Lee still think we're crap and shit? I mean, he probably doesn't deep down, but he would never admit it. He will never. He's
the line that got me that day, and if you ever see me, when I'm getting upset because my eyes go really wide.
Yeah.
Right. What? right? And the comment that got he went, "You're irrelevant. You're irrelevant." That see that no football club is shit and no football club is irrelevant because it means something. It means everything to someone, you know. So there is no way a football club can be irrelevant, right?
Oh.
But they come to our place last year. We cost them the title. We went to the Emirates this year, and if they lose that title by 2 points, they'll be looking at that game thinking, "Oh, that's the fucking game where we lost it."
Yeah.
How irrelevant will we be then?
We're so shit, they haven't beat us all year. Played us 3
Yeah,
times,
exactly.
haven't beat us once. That's how shit we are. What does that say about Arsenal? Mario Kovacevic with I think that's a $2.99 Australian dollars. Thank you very much, Mario.
Cheers,
Sorry
mate.
about butchering your name.
He sounds like a top class tennis player.
He does, doesn't he?
What's going on over there? Why are we full screened on Nicky?
Oh shit! Sorry.
No.
Sorry, I'm cleaning something up.
I thought you were going to do a magic trick or something.
He says, thanks for the content every week. Sydney, Australia. Come on, you fucking irons. Thank you very much, Mario.
Fucking irons, mate.
Edson Alvarez appreciation. The man is a tank, 100%. Nicky, I bet you enjoyed your breakfast. Drano Hammers.
Yeah, I did. It was really nice.
Gabriel Gilliard says, thoughts on us trying Paqueta as a false 9, Jared right, Mo left. We're so much more creative with Paqueta in the centre.
He sort of played that role against United, didn't he? He started playing that false 9 role. That was one of the things that Moyes changed in the second half, and it worked well. And obviously, he played that ball in for Bowen. So yeah, it could work. It has worked. So why not try it a bit more?
Yeah, 100%. Stephen Honey says, enjoyed your chat with AFTV pre-match. Hope we don't ever get arrogant when we win the league. Listen, they're arrogant and they ain't even won it. This, you know.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of work for that to happen.
Yeah. Sure. Listen, I'm just enjoying it. No refunds for number 41. Yeah, Joe, it weren't that long ago. They was going, "Oh, we'll give you an extra 50 million." Drano Hammers says, "Evening, lads, and everyone. I've done all right. William Mill had us 17-2.
Just fucking win. Lumped on." Says Drano Hammers. Go on, mate. What's he doing?
I don't know. Dan's
Hello?
stuck. Why Dan's sorting himself out? I just want to say as well, one, I got to say, I love watching West Ham on Amazon Prime. Not only for the results, not only for the results, because we've obviously beat Tottenham, United, and obviously Arsenal last night. But I just love their build up to the games. They're not like Sky, where if we'd have played Man United on Sky the other day, it'd have been an hour of Gary Neville and Roy Keane talking about United, and then it kicked off. But they obviously, like, even last night's build up to the game, and I just fair play to Amazon Prime, and I hope they get a lot more football over the course of the season, because I just enjoy their punditry. The teams that last night they had Thierry Henry, Alan Shearer, and Jermaine Defoe on there. Obviously, you've got Ali McQuest on commentary. I just think it's brilliant, and their build up as well. As I said, they put that video on with Rob Green, Fabianski, and Areola, and it's just like they split it evenly. It's not always, but even the United game, like just their build up, it weren't all United. It was mainly West Ham, and they was talking about how good West Ham are in that, and it was just perfect.
Yeah, I agree. Listen, we went into a meeting with Amazon. I think there's a lot more to come from Amazon, and basically, like, you come in there with me, right? Basically, the geezer went, "Look, we're bidding for some games. We're experimenting with the Premier League." But basically, yeah,
it's damn throws. I'm getting nervous.
I don't know. I think he has. Yeah, let's get him out. He looks like he's looking up to.
That's what I was thinking. I was thinking, what's he looking at?
Do you know what he looked like? He was looking like, "Look at this stuff. Isn't it neat? Doesn't it know our collection's complete?" Like the Little Mermaid.
What have I just walked back into? What's going on here?
No, post what? I don't know.
No,
anyway, yeah. So, Yeah, basically, we sat in a meeting with him, and he turned around and went, "Look, we're experimenting with this football." I was like, "So, what's the chances you reckon you might go for it?" And the geezer looked us in the eye, and went, "Listen, if we want it, we'll take it. There's no one that can compete with us for money." He goes like, "Sky, BT, TNT, whoever it is, and Apple, they can all plug their money together. We could outpay all of them. So if we want it, we'll get it." And I think like the models, I think it's great. The only thing is, I don't like it stretched out over that many days. I think it just longs it out. You know what I mean? So, although I think the extra few days off for this game is, I think it done us a favour. If I'm
Yeah,
honest,
now we get another 5 days off before we play Brighton.
yeah.
Christmas has been quite good to us, sort of fixture wise, for our players, and obviously, but look, the team we're going to put out against Brighton might not have Paquetá or Kudus in it, so it's going to be a tough game against Brighton. But
I think Mickey's on his way back, mate. I've heard Mickey might be on his way back.
Yeah,
so.
exactly. That's what I mean.
No,
Now,
but I
do you
think
know what? Last night's game in that last 20 minutes was crying out for Antonio. Just to bring him on, the last 20 minutes would have been perfect for him. And we probably would have nicked the third.
Yeah, I think he would give them 2 centre backs a roasting, to be honest. I didn't think it was their centre backs. I think it's their fullbacks. Their fullbacks are terrible. That Zinchenko's terrible.
Yeah, but Zinchenko drops in midfield, didn't he? That's what I couldn't get last night. You keep seeing Declan Rice going to a back, joining the back line, and Zinchenko going in the middle. And I think it worked a few weeks ago in one game, but now they keep trying to play it. But yeah, and this is like, look, Arsenal are title contenders, and don't get me wrong, come the end of the season, they'll still be up there. But it's games like, I said this the other day to someone, that what Arsenal are missing is a natural number 9. You look at them chances they missed last night through Jesus, an Ivan Toney or Erling Haaland, they score them chances, and that's the difference between winning the league and losing the league. So and that's the thing. You look at Liverpool; they've got Diego Jota, they've got Nunes, they've got Salah, they've got players that know where the back of the net is. So maybe it could be Liverpool's year. No one spoke about them at the beginning of the season. It was all City, and Arsenal. So
and also, just expanding on that a little bit, I don't think Arsenal's as good as they think they are. I really don't. I don't think they're as good as they think they are. I don't think they've got a good enough squad. And I was saying this to Robbie today, because obviously they've been fucking dragging me around the DR Sports Studio. So they've been doing all sorts of nonsense over there. They've had me acting and fucking dressing up and fucking putting on King's outfits and all that. But I didn't give a shit. You know what I mean? Like, Robbie's talking to me and he's going to me like, "You know what it is, Nick? You know what it is?" I didn't hear a fucking word that geezer said. Because in my head, I'm just smiling away and I'm going, la 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 la.
Yeah, the excuses are going to come. The excuses will come out, but the thing is, look, Arsenal are not going to win every week. Liverpool are not going to win every week. City are not going to win every week. The thing is with me is that when I look at City, they've had a bad run recently, and yet with their game in hand, if they win that, they're only 2 points behind, and they've got Haaland and De Bruyne to come back.
Yeah,
this is now, we all know as Premier League football fans, this is where they go on their 15, 20 game unbeaten run.
Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? That's the thing. It knocks the confidence and all of that sort of thing. But yeah, I said to Robbie today, do you know you're missing? 10 years ago, Olivier Giroud would fit into this Arsenal team perfectly. Goal scorer, holds the ball up, brings people into play, can score goals. I said, you need to find someone like him. And I think that fit in. But to be honest with you, ain't my fucking problem. Let them get on with it. They think they're the fucking bee's knees. They've had one good season and they think they're the fucking bollocks and up there. And, they're a good side, Arsenal. But, it's tough. It's tough. It's not just tough to get back to the top. Not that we know, but it's tough to maintain it. You know what I mean? Especially when you've got people that have got so much so much experience in that field, like winning the league. It's not easy. It's not easy. So listen, that's their fucking problem. Let's talk about.
Have you read Mr. Driscoll's super chat yet?
No,
mate. No, we read that, didn't we?
Did you? He said
You
£5
read it?
super chat. Mr. Driscoll, thanks. No, that there was a similar comment, but I don't think it was this one.
Oh,
Mr. Driscoll, £5 super chat says, thanks for all the effort, boys. Top content all year. Love Nikki's rice on toast comment this morning.
sorry. Hi, lads. Thursday nights are not for everyone. Fucking hell. What you on? A coat hanger on your
Fuck
internet
off.
or what?
Fucking internet.
I could hear him, but
I'm going to remove him. He can bring himself back in. Hi, lads. Thursday night not for everybody. Of course they ain't. No, they're definitely not.
yeah. But Thursday nights in North London completed it, mate.
Sushan's put $49.99. $49.99. Don't do that again, man. Bottle of Baileys for all of you lads.
Oh, do you know what?
I can't drink no more Baileys.
I've
man.
had so much Baileys. Honestly, I ain't stopped. This is the time of the year where I just enjoy myself, and yeah, I've enjoyed myself a bit too much the last few days. And yeah, the bottle of Baileys, and I'm thinking to myself, like, I'm out tomorrow night and Sunday, obviously New Year's Eve. I'm like, fucking hell. So
yeah. But no, we really appreciate that, mate. You know, we appreciate, but you don't have to do that. Do you know what? Somebody's talking about I've been ill, as I said. I got fucking slaughtered on here last week, and it was, you know, it's one of them once a year things that we do. And somebody said it might be alcohol poisoning, and I reckon he could be right, you know, because I haven't been right since. I'm lucky I'm not a costume of a man. That's what I would say. You know what I mean? But yeah, let's get on to the David Moyes thing then, mate, because Dan will be back in shortly. There's rumours, although I saw the interview with him after the Arsenal game last night, and they was talking about his contract, and he says he's not in a rush to discuss it, and neither are the board, and it'll all be done, it'll all be sorted out in good time. But there's rumours today that he could be offered a 2.5-year extension. Now, I don't know where the 2.5 year comes from. Maybe that's because he's going to, you know, it'll be the rest of this year and 2 years in the future. How do you feel about that, mate? Here we go.
Yeah, I mean, look, as I said earlier, mate, you can't. It's funny enough, it's 4 years ago today that he rejoined the club. So, you know, he's been here 4 years now, which is long in the manager's game, especially in the Premier League these days. Look, stability at this football club is one thing we wanted, and David Moyes gives you that. I know when you look at a lot of the arguments that people say about David Moyes, it comes down to style of football, which is what people want. And I understand that. But when you look at the stats of David Moyes and what he's done at the football club, I mean, I've got some here, like this is just us in 2023 with 59 games played, 32 wins, you know, 18 defeats, 17 home wins, 97 goals scored, 19 clean sheets, and we only failed to score in 7 games. And, you know, when I look at some of them stats, some of them I think to myself, are they true? Because I didn't realise how good it was. And I know that the Premier League sort of run last season, it was like, because we've done so well the 2 previous years, and you look how well we're doing this year, maybe last season was a little bit of a blip. Because when you look at the players we've brought in now, and I'll be honest, the last 4 or 5 games I've watched us, barring Fulham and obviously the Liverpool game in the Cup, we've actually played some decent football and looked like a good team. And now Kudus is really settling into the team, and Paquetá and Bowen, that forward three. We're an exciting team to watch. And I just think that David Moyes last night proved why he's been a Premier League manager for so long, because he'll go to Arsenal, and I know that he doesn't do it all the time, but we grinded out that result. And I just think that, look, if they do give David Moyes a new 2-year deal or 2.5-year deal, I'll back him. I'll still be behind him. I don't think they should do it now. I think they should wait to the end of the season, because we've seen it before where a manager gets a new deal halfway for a season and the rest of the season goes to absolute shit. So I'm one of these people that if change happens, I'll back it. If Moyes stays in charge, I'll back it, because I think that he has done a brilliant job. And when you do look at it, and I said this the other week, when he leaves the football club, you'll realise what a good job he's done for West Ham, and he delivered us a trophy. Whether it's the trophy, it's not a major, it's not the Champions League or that, but it's still a trophy. So yeah, I'm for it if it happens.
Listen, I'm not going to be vocal. Look, people know my position. You know what I mean? Like, and this is the thing about this sort of opinion on the manager and things like that. And listen, at the end of the day, what you've got to remember is like, you know, opinions are like arseholes. Everyone's got one.
Yeah.
And just because you voice your opinion or you have an opinion, it doesn't make your opinion right. It doesn't make your opinion wrong. It's just an opinion, right? And everyone's, you know, putting themselves out to be judged. Now, the thing I would say, and this is where I explain myself, like, don't voice your opinion and then not tell me the reasons, you know. And you know, you have to, and this is what I always do, and this is why I always think I'm fair. I'm always willing to change my mind. If someone gives me a good enough or strong enough argument against my point, which is valid, which I think maybe that's you know, somewhere I didn't look before, or you know, things that I think are his issues, he addresses them. You know, I'm going to be honest. When it was at the beginning of the season, we had all this attacking talent. I thought the way we approached the games against, let's take a couple, Everton, Palace, who else did we play? Brentford. I thought it was totally wrong. I thought there was a total wrong ways to do it. And I've got criticism. He's not perfect, David Moyes, right? But when you look at the games against Wolves and you look at the way we dispatch Wolves and what have Wolves gone on to do since then, they're in real good form since they played us. You know, we attacked, we pressed from the front. You know, we put more trust in our attacking players. But there are still faults, you know. Again, when we went to Liverpool, why chuck away the Carabao Cup like that? You know, you look at the way we performed against Arsenal last night. We'd have played like that against Liverpool. We'd have beat them, and I've got no doubt about it. We would have beat Liverpool that night. So he's got his faults, and he's got his pros, and he's got his cons. But listen, it's not healthy to be having these fucking raging debates and like. You know, some guy, Errol, I know him well. He's well, I don't know him, you know, well, but, you know, he's followed me on Twitter. I know he knows Baz and all that. Every time there's sort of a victory in there, people tweet me and he's going, Moyes in. All right, well, you Moyes in. Fucking, what do you fucking do? You know what I mean? Like, and, you know, I don't mind seeing them. And some guy said to me, oh, surely now you're going to be Moyes in. And I said, look, I am happy, really happy, when I give a negative comment and a negative opinion to be proven to look like a prat. Because if I'm proven to look like a prat and wrong and not know what I'm talking about, it means West Ham are benefiting from it. And at the end of the day, that is all I want. I want West Ham to move forward. At the end of the day, that is the same. Everyone's moving in the same direction. Yeah. Everyone wants West Ham to move forward. Everyone wants West Ham to be successful. Everyone wants West Ham to do the best they can do. But people have different opinions about how that can be achieved. Would you know, taking my route and getting rid of David Moyes and getting in maybe a more modern day manager be a risk? Yeah, absolutely, it'd be a risk. Absolutely, you know what I mean? Like they tried it before and it hasn't worked, right? But I think we're in a better position now. And what I would say this with the David Moyes debate, yeah, if we took that approach, I think there's more to come from this squad. You know what you're going to get with David Moyes. David Moyes is not going to let you down. He's not. He will be so. But you know, do we have to rinse and repeat? You know, do we have to? You know, we've took this approach that we're taking with Moyes for so many years. We just cling on until we're forced to get rid of it. Has it ever worked before? Has it ever progressed us, or have we gone forward and then waited too long, or not struck when the iron's hot and gone back?
Thing is, as well, mate, like
that's my argument.
There's no patience in football no more, and it's not just at West Ham.
Right.
It's all over the Premier League. I mean, you look at the beginning of the season when Bournemouth, when they got their new manager, and everyone was laughing at him because he didn't win in his first few games, and now look at them, they're top of the form charts. I think you look at like people are saying they're like praising Tottenham as this is their. It's been an amazing season for Spurs. Like they've lost 5, we've lost 6. We're 3 points behind them. We're 6 points behind Aston Villa. Like, who Villa, for me, have been one of the form teams of the season. You know, Chelsea, Pochettino's only just gone there. He's you know, and already, even last night, I'm hearing Arsenal fans talk about Arteta. He's not the right man to take us forward. You've lost one game at home to West Ham. You'd have won that last night. You've been top of the league. And there's just no patience in football no more. And I think social media is the only downfall and the downside to social media is that it, back in the day when we were shit, we were shit under our Redknapp. We weren't that great, but we'd have a win and then we'd go in the pub after or go wherever and talk. But now it's just like, there's just no patience. I mean, you look at the job that Moyes has done twice for us since he's been at the first time he kept us up, right? And then we parted ways. He come back. The 4 years that he's been here, we've probably seen some of the best Premier League football we've played under him in them 4 years. You go back to that COVID season when we had Lingard, you look at even now, like we're on 33 points, the most Premier League points we've ever had at this stage of the season. So it's another thing that he can add to the stat chart and his stats just keeps adding up and adding up. And I know he's not everyone's favourite. I know he's like, and sometimes, he pisses me off with his approach sometimes and how stubborn he is, but it gets the job done. And I think that if the players are liking him, people are saying to me that him and Tim Stein don't get on. All I see them is them pitch side talking to each other. They get on really well. They have weekly meetings, So look, people think they know what's going on inside the club, but maybe they don't know as much.
The thing is, with me, I've said all season, with David Moyes, I said at the start of the season, I'm not going to be Moyes out for the whole season. This is last year of his contract. It does come a lot of it to a style of play issue, I think, and he can be frustrating. But I've also said you can't deny he's done a good job. He has a very good CV at this football club. If you look at it on paper, it's fantastic. And my thing has always been about the future and sustainability and not waiting to crash and burn before saying now it's time for a change, trying to take that period of stability that he's given us and saying, right, can we now build and get a new manager off here? Because I think that's the best time to get a new manager is when you're stable and not when you've got to pick up the pieces and start from scratch. However, if this is true and he's given a new 2-year deal, I'm not going to be mad at it. I'm not going to be fuming. I understand it. And I said this many occasions. He deserves it. He does not deserve to be sacked. He deserves a new deal. But I don't think you should make your decisions in football based on deserve. It should always be about what's best for the club, regardless of if Moyes deserves a new contract or not. They have to ask, is him being in charge the best for the club? Track record, it shows yes. So far, look, we're having a good season. This season, we're better off than we was last season. It was awful. And if we get in Europe, how can it be argued?
I think I think we're 18 points better off than we was this time last season or something like that. I'm sure I've read
so it's
that.
Showing that was the big thing.
It was a
for me.
poor season last season.
Yeah, I wanted
and
to
that's
see.
and that's in a harder European competition as well.
Yeah, and the thing is, the big thing for me is I was wanting to see if last season was a blip, was a one-off, and we're not going to be that bad, and the wheels haven't come falling off and all of that sort of stuff, and we could bounce back this season. So far, it is. But what I'm interested in is not so much about who the manager is; it's the project, it's the wider project. People have talked about Steierten. That's an appointment that excited me because we had someone, a football man, in charge and not Sullivan. And if Moyes and Steierten can work together and build into this long-term project, and not every season, we're signing just names and stats and panic buys, but we have a long-term vision of this is how we're going to play. This is the approach. These are the type of players we want. We're going to go into transfer windows prepared. Then and if Moyes is the man to be managing us during that project, I will go with it based on what it is. And again, he's always going to frustrate people more because, like you said, right, the style of play. When you lose playing shit football, it's hard to take.
I think any manager can frustrate you because, like, I know we've been linked with like Xabi Alonso, and don't get me wrong, he's having a great season at Leverkusen, but there's no guarantee he's going to come in at West Ham and do well. He might struggle to adapt to the English game straight away. And then what we're going to do if a new manager comes in and we don't win in our first 6, then what's going to happen? Everyone's going to be going, oh, but whoever comes in, if David Moyes doesn't renew his contract, you have to give them time. It's not about the first 10 games. It's about, you got to give, it might take a season or 2, but these managers don't always happen straight away. I mean, what we've got with David Moyes now is, I think that it's the furthest we with the ownership and what we're going. What can we break into that top 6? I think we probably could this season, but I just don't think that. It's a tough league. There's a lot of teams that are performing well, and we've got to have a good second half of the season. If we have the same.
Sorry.
No, go on. I was about to say, if we have a similar sort of second half of the season as the first, then we are going to finish in the top 7, top 6. So, and that will be a great season for me.
Yeah,
I think that we have to. Yeah, I think this Christmas period has been best I remember for a long time. I remember us having a good December, which is under Pellegrini, maybe. I think that's pretty much what saved us. But yeah, this is going to be the test this January. When the players go off to the AFCON and he's sort of left with a bare bones. If we can get through this month, I'm not going to say winning every game, but relatively unscathed. I mean, we've got Brighton, who we traditionally don't do well against, I think we've got Man United coming up again, haven't we? Yeah. No, I don't think we have. I think Arsenal's in February.
As long as we're still in the mix for Europe, coming at the end of the month, whether we lose a few, maybe we lose more than we win, as long as we're still in the mix, we're still in the hunt.
Yeah. I mean, we could get lucky because the likes of Man United and Chelsea and Aston Villa haven't had a bad patch yet, and Tottenham are still up and down. So as long as we're still in amongst it, I think once we get everyone back, I think we're one of the better teams. Attack-wise, I think we're one of the better teams. The way we dispatch our chances now, one of the better teams. I just
think that what I like about this team as well now is that you even listened to Arteta's interview before the game last night. Teams fear us now because of our forward line, and they know with the set pieces as well with Ward-Prowse, and that's what I want. That's what I've wanted for a long time at this football club, is that we turn up to these stadiums now and we give them a game. Like, how many times have we been to the Emirates and just gone there for a piss up because we know we're not getting nothing there that day?
Yeah.
We get rolled over all the time. I think that we've played them there 18 times. I think we've won there 3 times now in 18 games. So that's all we want from this team, and whoever's in charge is, we just want to be competing against these teams, because I think the Premier League is open. Anyone can beat anyone on their day, and it's a good, as Nicky said, Villa haven't had a bad patch yet. Tottenham are a bit mixed. One week they look like they're back on the up, and then they lose 4-2 to Brighton.
Son's going to the Asia Cup, I believe.
Yeah, so I mean, I think I see earlier that Cornet and Ben Rama might not be going to the Africa Cup of Nations because they might not get selected, which Cornet, he don't matter, he don't play anyway. But Ben Rama, whether he's still going to be here at the football club, there's rumours that he might be getting sold in January. So I'm hoping that Tim Stuyton's put some fuel in his plane, because he's going to have to bring in a couple of players in January.
I just hope if Moyes does get this new deal, then we can all put the division aside and the agendas, and we just get on with it. Look, I'll never say people can't voice their opinions, and I will be the first to say, look, the manager, if he fucks up in a game, if he does a bad job, he deserves criticism as much as a player who has a bad game. No manager should ever be above criticism for a performance. But with how it's been, so divided and toxic on both sides, I would love to see that come to an end. In the same way, if Moyes isn't offered a new deal and a new manager comes in, and all the super hardcore Moyes fans just get behind the new manager, it's just exhausting, this war, but this split in the fan base that we've had. One way or another, stay or go.
You don't want the Moyes in people that when a new manager does come in, he starts doing bad, they all start jumping on it, going, oh, look, should have kept Moyes, blah, blah, blah. the end of the day, I don't care who's in charge of this football club. I just want them to do well. And I'll always back them. Listen, I sat there and backed Avram fucking Grant for a season. Worst season out of supporting this football club. But
was you Avram in, right? Yes, Avram in. It was you Avram in.
Oh, I weren't Avram anything, mate. It was worst season in history. I remember going to that last home game after we was relegated, and I was like, what the fuck are we doing here?
Yeah, but I think the worst thing that can happen to this football club is every time the club go through a little bit of a slip, you got all these Moyes out people going, "Oh, see, that's why we got to get rid of him. He's a fucking wanker," and all this sort of thing. And as soon as we have a good thingy, and all you fucking wankers don't want him out. This is why we got there's just no need for it. You know what I mean? Like, let's just
be happy, competition, man. Isn't it? It's like a competition between the two. I've never known a manager to split the fan base as much as Moyes does.
I think Allardyce did. I think he was just as bad.
I think it's worse. I think it's worse.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Really,
I agree with Barry Clark. Anyway, fuck Arsenal.
Yeah, I agree.
He just come out of the blue and said that. So
I agree. But yeah, so let's see. I mean, it'll be interesting. Moyes did say in his press conference, that they haven't had the conversation yet, but he'll like to continue the job he's done here. And if they've offered him a 2.5 year, that'd be very interesting, because usually Sullivan does like to wait till the end of the season. So that'll be a vote of confidence. And it might be what we need is a little bit of assurances rather than waiting. We've done this time and time again, haven't we? Like that uncertainty. At least if they say right now, Moyes, you're getting a new contract, it removes that uncertainty rather than wait till the end of the season, just give him one anyway. If you're going to give him one anyway, just give it to him bloody now. And let's just move on. We all know where we stand.
Right. I think even David Moyes said the other week in an interview that he said he's not really bothered about a contract. He can work without a contract. He's just happy to be at the football club, and he's not ready to retire yet. And he doesn't want to. He wants to stay at West Ham. And when I hear things like that, I think to myself, yeah, well, at least you know what, he's dedicated. He wants to do He's got a project. Maybe he's got a project going on that maybe we can't see. But look, whenever he leaves his football club, I'm sure he'll leave it in a much better position than when he picked it up.
Well, it's not saying much, is it? Where we
no, but I remember when he first come in. I remember his first home game when we beat, was it Bournemouth 4-0, and like Pellegrini had just been sacked, and Moyes come back, and everyone was like, "Oh, we don't want Moyes back." And then I think ever since then, he's just. I like the way he deals with the negative stuff as well. He doesn't let it affect him. He just goes on and does what he wants. And I think the recruitment's been great as well over the last couple of seasons, especially with the players. We have got some wrong, but
this summer, I don't think we've put a step wrong. And both Steidton and Moyes deserve credit, and that's why you have a Steidton. Because every player.
Mate, I was having a fucking meltdown at the beginning of the summer because it didn't look like we was doing anything. We got that Bournemouth game, we hadn't made a signing. But listen, I can't knock the recruitment.
I think we've been lucky as well with recruitment that they've all clicked and they've all started well. And Ward-Prowse, he's a proven Premier League player. He just hit the ground running. Kudus took a little bit of time, but once he got settled in, I just love watching him play football. He doesn't moan. He doesn't throw his arms in the air. He doesn't roll about. And as I said earlier, he hardly gets knocked off the ball. He's upper strength. He's up there with one of the best in the Premier League.
They're cool.
He was made for this league. He was made for the Prem.
The Ghanaians, man, they're cool. The way they talk, you hear the way he talks, he's just so calm. Yeah, thank you. He's really good. We like it. That's how he speaks. He speaks a very calm manner. Gets on with it. I like him. I like him a lot.
That was Ibrahimovic there, that impression.
Did I?
I thought that's Ibrahimovic. When I
whoever it is, he's meant to be Kudus, and I didn't mean to insult anyone. But yeah, I like the guy. We've got a good balance of the team, and going back quickly to Declan Rice. That's why I've got no animosity, because he's built this house. The money that he brought in has helped us progress. Listen, we had to spend the money well.
Yeah, that wording, I don't know about that, but if you could say we built him and we got the money for selling him.
Yeah,
We
but
made
the
him.
money he's brought in through the sale of him has built the next stage of our development, in my opinion.
Yeah, but at the same time, that negotiation, it was us negotiating instead, holding fast.
Oh yeah. Fucking, do you know what? This is one of the one times I'm going to say fucking credit to David Sullivan, because he held them up.
It was actually Brady that done that deal.
Oh well, yeah. Well, credit to either one of them, whoever.
And the
done
thing
it.
is, as well, when you look at it, Kudus, Alvarez, and Ward-Prowse 103 million, and we sold Rice for 105. So
Got a couple of million quid to go on the piss with.
Great business by the club.
Yeah, brilliant. Right, what we got now, Dan? Is he frozen again?
I don't know. I don't want to make eye contact.
Every time he freezes, it looks like he's staring into my soul.
I'm nervous. Remove
He's got a
him.
Klingon.
He makes me nervous.
Let's take some of these comments.
Try not to make eye contact with him.
Steve WHU Bell says, how bad is Paqueta's injury? We got an update on this earlier from Lucas Paquetá himself. A week, apparently. His
little calf strain. Do you know what? When I was looking at it, when he pulled up, I was thinking to myself straight away, calf. But then he started putting his hand on his hamstring, and I was thinking, oh, here we go. But I think, what is it, 7 to 10 days, he said? Something like
that. Basic Benny says, Arsenal are the worst fan base on social media. One great season and no trophy, and they're still full of it and arrogant. All going on about the ball out of play. Of course, it's that. I don't understand. Of course, look, I'm not going to turn around. I'm not going to expect them to turn around and go, yeah, of course it was in play. I thought it was in play. I've watched it over and over and over again. I thought it was in play.
It was very close, and the referee made the right decision because it wasn't guilt. It was given the on-field decision, and if VAR can't clear it up, they have to go with the on-field decision. Look, we've had it happen to us down the years, and I think it happened to Arsenal a few weeks ago at Newcastle, didn't it? But it's what happens. I don't know why they haven't got cameras like above the ground where they can overlook and see it. I mean, maybe that's something they need to bring in.
But they haven't, right? You got to deal with it. They haven't got them.
No, I know. That's what I'm saying. I don't know why they haven't got them, but it was close. Don't get me wrong, but God bless Gerard Bowen's right fire, because that's kept it in.
Masked it, yeah. It's masked it, and it's yeah. Good finish by Souček as well, I must say that.
Oh, brilliant. His spinning celebration, I love it.
Yeah, it's good, isn't it?
He looks so happy, doesn't he, when he spins?
Yeah, he does look at it. He's just an happy geezer.
He's always got a black eye as well, isn't he?
It's hard not to like Souček, isn't it? It's hard not to like him.
He's always got a black eye or a cut, isn't he?
He's in the supermarket fucking fighting over his potato salad. That's why. Wayne Carter says, I think they've all sat down and agreed to disagree to who's good at what. Moyes manages the team. Tim sources the player. Sully pays. Board would have no doubts with Steiden. Come on, new irons. Joe the Hammer. Rice kept us back last season. I don't know whether that's true. Sebastian Tickleberry. I think we're better without him because we've bought, the players that we needed. I think we've bought 3 players in positions that we needed, and he's just one player,
But it's the way that he played, and a lot of people said that everything seemed to go for him because he wanted to be forward. He was defensive, but he also wanted to progress the ball and wanted to play higher up the pitch. But maybe that wasn't his strength.
I think that's just a natural way of playing when you've got a player like that. Tottenham have found that since Tottenham are never going to turn around and go they're worse off for not having Harry Kane. But if you look at the way they play now, they've become, more of a dynamic attacking force. They attack in numbers, and everyone's capable of scoring. Whereas, like when you've got someone as good as Harry Kane, your first thought is get it up to him. He fucking smash it in the back of the net, and it becomes predictable and it becomes one dimensional. And I think it forces, when any player. I think any player, but someone of Harry Kane's ability or Declan Rice's ability, it forces you to become more expansive and more exploratory with your the way you play, because you haven't got that that world-class talent in there anymore, and you've got to find different ways to play. That makes sense? Or am I talking
Yeah,
nonsense?
yeah. No, I thought that was it. Yeah, was you looking for an argument?
No. I'm just didn't think it was making sense. It was all some.
No, I was nodding, but I thought because we're doing super chat, chats, we're reading the comments out, so I thought.
Oh, go on, mate. You go through the chats now.
Well,
Take
if my
'em over.
internet fucking holds up,
Is it no good? I don't see Moyes winning the league. You're a visionary.
okay.
We need to ask ourselves what's our ambition to the future. He's done well, but I don't think he's capable of consistently finishing top 5 or winning the league. I don't think any manager's going to win the league in the current climate with West Ham. Let's be fucking honest. Look, we could become a very good team that challenges for sort of Europe, but realistically, we're not going to win the fucking league. But you have to have something. We're not going to win the league within the next sort of 10 years. Let's put it that way. Like if you start the project, then you have to. That has got to be your ambition, or getting as close to it as possible. A bit like Tottenham. But with David Moyes, like, I'm happy for David Moyes to take the reins and get the results and all that. But there's a couple of things that I would be insistent on if I was the club, and that'd be like, start getting rid of some of them RAPs that you've got there in Deadwood, and start getting some of that youth in, because it's the best youth we've had. And if we waste that talent, I mean, you look at Arsenal last night. As good as Arsenal are, and as much money as they spent, they're bringing players off their bench. They brought Eddie Nketiah, Emil Smith-Rowe, and Reece Nelson on. They're all from their academy. You've got to Saka is from their academy. Saliba is from their academy. Academies are important, because you can't go out, especially as a club like West Ham, and go out and buy £105 million players like Declan Rice, or £50 million players like Paquetá or Kudus over and over again. You've got to blend it. You've got to be able to find a few, gems. And that's how you do it. There you go.
Yeah,
Get me in charge.
Where are you? I can't. Do you know what? I can't even see the starred chats.
No, I think we're going to start wrapping it up now anyway. So yeah. Let's take a few more comments, and then I think we're going to start wrapping it up for this one. 6 months remainder of the season 23-24 and 2 further years, but some sort of clause rendering him to be sacked with no financial burden. Yeah, I've heard a lot of this. There's a few clauses being put in this 2-year contract to turn around and say, look, we'll give you the 2 years, but if all of a sudden we want to change direction, you can't then start holding us to ransom. Which I think if he signed that, I think it'd be that'd be a lovely gesture from Moyes as well.
Yeah.
And it'll just show that he has got the club at heart, rather than, there's a lot of managers out there wouldn't fucking do that. They don't have to do that.
That would be ideal for me. That would be the ideal scenario. If we are going to if we could just, because a lot of the time they're hesitant to pull the trigger because of that having to pay off the contract.
Yeah. Cool.
That removes that, and we can go, well, we've given it another go, and we want to go. Yeah, I think that's the best way.
If there's a time we can go to him, look, Dave, you can take the next 2 years, mate, but we've got a manager lined up for the future. If he becomes available at any point, we're going to remove him from a position, maybe move him upstairs or move him into a different role. And, that's the guy that we want to take forward. I don't think we should be, even if we got rid of him now, I don't think we should just be sacking David. I think he's given us too much. And I think
it's interesting with the Xavi Alonso situation as well, because what's his name? Real Madrid, Ancelotti's just signed a new deal to take him to 2026. So, yeah, and that's what I want. I want Alonso to come in next season, and in 2 years' time he's going to go, because where's the ambition? Where's the project there? So,
but then that's the thing, right? Is if you know that's the case, you plan for it, right? So say he comes in and has a great 2 years and goes to Real Madrid. You have that in place, so you go, okay, right, from here, this is the man to take over from. This is the more long term, and it's all about planning, and that's what we have. That's what we've been so poor at. So yeah, look, we'll see what happens either way. But either way, January is huge. We have to spend. We have to buy. because our squad depth is going to cost us
Yeah,
big time.
I can see maybe a couple of loan signings coming in.
Jadon
As long as we
Sancho,
get,
mate.
I'd like to see about 3 or 4 players come in January just to help improve the squad. So
Jadon
Who?
Sancho would be perfect.
I mean, it'd be a risk.
Is
but
any-
he's-
yeah,
if
Jadon
there's
Sancho
any-
would be a brilliant signing. I think.
Sorry, mate. I think we're lagging a bit. If there's anyone that can save Sancho's career, it's David Moyes. David Moyes can save Sancho. Save Sancho. Like, especially while Kudus is out as well. I think it'd be a perfect signing to come in. I really do. But there we go.
Yeah, I agree.
Just quickly brush over this quickly. The finances come out today. Listen, I'm not the greatest at reading the finances, and I'm not going to sit here and profess that I've sat there and gone through it all, blah, blah, blah. But someone sort of summarized it up. Basically, we're the top club or the richest club or the most profitable
highest
club.
highest
earning outside of the traditional top 6, which is good. Our revenue went down TV wise, but I should imagine that's because we was in relegation trouble last year and we weren't sort of as competitive. But we did win more prize money because we won the Conference League, obviously. But
I think we've played up for it a bit this season. I feel like we're on TV every week at the moment.
yeah, but that's good for it. And we lost. I think we lost about like 12 million quid through league places or something ridiculous like that because we went from finishing 7th to I can't remember.
14th, wasn't it?
Eh? 14th, wasn't it? 14th, yeah, something like that. So yeah. So that was the. I don't know. Ask Sean Whetstone, he knows. I ain't got a fucking clue.
I haven't, to be honest. I see something posted earlier, but I haven't had a chance to look at it. But I'm like you, mate. I don't.
No, some of it don't make no fucking sense to me, boy.
As long as we're not skint, I'm all right. That's how I summarise it.
Right, let's start saying goodbye then, Dan. Go on. You're fronting this one.
Yeah. Thank you all for watching. All your normal chats and super chats. Sorry about my internet lagging. But yes, it has been an amazing year for West Ham and for our channel. Strength to strength. And you will make it what it is. So thank you all very much. Look out for all of the content coming around the Brighton game. Can we do the double over them? We shall see. Lads, pleasure as always. Love you both. Hope everyone's had a Merry
love
Christmas.
You too, mate.
Happy New Year.
Yeah, Happy New Year to everyone. Yeah, go and get pissed. And if you've got no one to get pissed with, make a friend on here and go and get pissed with them.
I'll be up the clubhouse on Sunday, mate. I'm having a good old drink because I'm back on it. Health wise from the 2nd of January, 1st of January.
I think about it well enough. I'm still feeling a bit rough.
That's it. Enjoy it. Make your resolutions. New year. Set your goals. Set your targets. West Ham Fan TV. We're going to be setting ours strength to strength. Thank you all for watching. Happy New Year. And one thing left to